like I don't know what I'm doing anymore, bro. Sorry, I don't even know if y'all could understand that, but I was saying I don't even know if I know what I'm doing anymore. Wanted to be a boxer. It's about to be 2 weeks almost, basically 2 weeks that I haven't gone. Out of the 14 past days, I went. I've only went 2. I haven't gone for 12 days. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, bro. But it feels like I've just been living on the internet since I was a kid, man. Like being home alone a lot, or my mom being busy, just having a phone in front of my face. It feels like all my ideas, everything has just been just off the phone, bro. Off of the internet. My whole life was consumed by Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Musically at the time, not being TikTok. Like I spent years, I'm sure, of just straight sitting in one position a minute, like making minimum movement, just being on my phone. I mean, jack shit. Or gooning, bro. Don't get me wrong. There's good, like, informative people out there online that, I genuinely learn things off of. But for the most part, it's like I haven't gotten shit done. And I haven't, for the most part, it's been shit. Sorry. Brain, like just slop, not actually anything that's good for me. Yeah, I haven't done shit. I'm 18, about to be 19 soon. In about, I think, 5 months, 4 months. What the fuck, 4 months? I'm about to be 19. I haven't done shit for myself. A job, yes. Just started applying to this college, but what the fuck am I doing? What have I done up to now? Nothing, bro. And then I feel like my phone has literally corrupted me. I feel like I'm a whole different person because I grew up on my phone. I was never really able to be myself. I was never able to be me. I let really the internet dictate who I am growing up, and it definitely changed me, bro. And all this shit you see online, bro, like how socially acceptable it is, like, just things as in like gooning. People make so many memes about it. You see it all over TikTok, see it on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like it's plastered everywhere, but in a way it is. Like, it's just accepted everywhere. You see all these OF models, like even on Snapchat, bro. Like Sophie Rain will pop up on my shit every now and then, like her stories. I don't follow her, and I do quick at a lot of people, but I don't even watch the stories no more. I'm so serious, not even cap. But it's like it's everywhere, bro. At the end of the day, is it up to me to decide whether I consume it or not? Yes, but I'm saying more so like growing up on it, that fucked me up, and I feel like that was a big part of who I am now and why I am the way I am now. You know what I mean? And then obviously, one thing I did like about Andrew Tate, even though a lot of people don't like him and hate on him, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, taking accountability is the best thing anyone can do for themselves if they really want to grow. There's so many instances of people that just deflect blame, and some people might think I'm trying to deflect blame now. No, I'm just explaining my upcoming. I'm not blaming it completely on the phone. Of course it was my fault, but yeah, to an extent, was I just a kid? Yeah. But does do my actions now, present day, um, does that mean I can't change because of that? No, of course it does. Of course I can change and I can be a different person, yes. Should I decide to? No. Why? Because I'm deciding not to. You know what I mean? And that's completely on me. And is it because of the bad habits that I've built up? Yes. Of course it is. It's not because my phone is the sole problem. Like, it's the problem, yes, but is it my fault? Yes. Is it Apple's fault? No. Is it the people who created the phone? No. Is it my parents' fault? No. No, I wouldn't even say it's their fault. It's my fault. It's all completely my fault. And some people might say, "Oh, don't push yourself, don't push yourself down like that." But it's not putting myself down. It's taking accountability, you know. And I have to change. Really, I really have to make a change, and become a different person. I have to stop, like, you know, even gooning, bro. Like, even once in a while isn't good at all. I feel like it's literally a virus, bro. It's horrible. And the fact that it's so addictable and it's so accessible and it's so okay for people to, it's seen as an okay thing for people to consume, is even worse. You know what I mean? It's even worse. And you know, I just even just like doom scrolling, bro. Like, it's just become like kind of acceptable now. Like, just doom scrolling. You know, do people say like it's not okay for you? Yes, but TikTok wouldn't be where it's at if everyone said, oh, if everyone agreed that it wasn't okay, and you know what I mean? YouTube wouldn't be as big as it is, you know? And are there good things on both ends? Yes, of course there are. But you're lying to me if you tell me the majority of YouTube and just social media in general is just slop and shit. Now, can it be challenging to come out of that? Yes. And I say this now, and who knows, in the next 12 hours when I wake up, uh, who knows? I expect not to, and I won't. It's like I don't know who I am anymore. I do know who I am, obviously, and sorta, but at the same time, it's shit that me, like, it's sad. It shows that what's to say about myself, really, if I can't control myself from just not looking at my phone and doom scrolling for fucking 30 minutes, you know? Not being able to go to sleep without a YouTube video playing in the background, not being able to drive and just listen to just and just not have music blasting all the time. You know what I mean? Like, is it okay every now and then I have music, you know, to maybe uplift you and things like that? Yes, but everything in moderation. But I feel like everything is so excessive nowadays. Is it okay for me to buy an energy drink every now and then, and maybe get a meal every now and then for going out? Yes, but it's maybe it's not so normalized in that aspect. But I'm talking more so my bad habits that I built up and that keep me stuck in the position that I am. Is it okay that I resort to automatically going to sleep anytime I feel slightly tired? No, of course not. It's just y- my brain knows exactly what to say to itself, so I know what not, so I cannot do the thing I don't want to do. I push through, yes, but I feel like honestly, I don't. It feels like I don't love myself, bro. And honestly, with the habits that I've done, of course not, bro. Having sex consistently throughout the week, like that, yes, it sounds cool to maybe some people, or it sounds pleasing to others, but it's really fucking not. For one, you're draining your energy. You're literally draining your energy. And another thing about people that, you know, have informative things to say, Toki once said in one of his, you know, like, inspirational clips or whatever, how, you know, really, when you have sex with a girl, you're not getting anything done, because when you think about it, what do you do for the hour that you're with them, or the 2 hours that you hang out, the 3 hours a day that you hang out with them? You really don't get anything done. um or even if you're just trying to crack, right? What do you do in that 2 hour time span? You know, you're not really doing anything. You don't accomplish anything other than just busting a nut, you know what I mean? And maybe your ego goes up because you're like, yeah, I'm the man, you know what I mean? I did that. But like, realistically, what does it do for you? You know what I mean? Nothing. Now, am I saying you should never fuck any girls? You should never fuck any bad bitch? You know what I mean? You should never fuck, you know? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like for me personally, I feel like I've definitely made it a habit to always fall into whatever is gonna like self please me. but whatever's gonna please myself in that, instant gratification. You know what I mean? Whether it's sex, gooning, doom scrolling, smoking, like just instant gratification all the time. Like, and it sucks, bro. Like, I haven't had a one-on-one with myself like this in a long time, and I haven't been able to just think out loud, and I really haven't been. And some people say I'm hard on myself. Um, Not many. If I'm being honest, not many. Um, I do get into my head a lot, and I do believe it's because all the bad habits that I built up that I literally have no confidence when I'm going on to take a challenge. I can build up a bit of confidence in certain things, but obviously does that happen overnight? No, I know it takes time and practice, but I really doubt myself a lot. And if we delve deeper into that, what does that mean about myself if I'm constantly doubting? Let's put this as if I had a girlfriend, right? Let's say I had a girlfriend. I'm always doubting her, always doubting her, always doubting her. Don't believe in her, don't trust in her. Um, I'm just always feeding into whatever she wants. Like, what is that? That's a one-sided relationship. I'm putting everything, I'm always giving them everything, you know what I mean? And giving them everything isn't always the best. Instant gratification isn't always the best. Does this kind of make sense? I don't know, but I'm just going off of what is going on in my brain. I'm speaking as I'm thinking. I don't know, man. I really want to change. Is it hard? Yes, but what was that quote? To get something you've never have, you have to do something you've never done. I think that's a very true quote. And all these quotes are motivational and inspirational, but it's really consistency that matters. Without consistency, you're nothing, and it's a lot more boring and harder than it sounds. You know, I don't know, man. I do know, but it feels like I'm lost. Instead of actually getting up and going and do something, I'm just sitting here and just contemplating and moping and fucking bitching about the situation that I'm in. It's only been 12 minutes. Feels like it's been a lot longer. Even with things like this, right? I'm probably actually gonna end up posting this on my YouTube, but most often than not, I have a bunch of videos of me going to the gym, gym workouts, and a lot of things like this where I just talk to myself and I just think out loud. I never post these, and I used to a lot, right? And I used to just dive into my thoughts or things that would go on like in the world, and I'd give my 2 cents on it. Did people care? No, but I'd talk my shit. You know what I mean? I don't talk shit, but I'd give my point of view. And someone that I really looked up to was Sneeko. You know what I mean? Because Sneeko, I think his content was super cool, and I feel like I could relate to it a lot because it was just not so much random things, but it was like a little, like not little either. It was he would like the topics he would talk about were, I feel like, similar to the things that would be going on in my head and I would want to talk about, or similar, like all that kind of, all those. It feels like he was, every time I watch a Sneeko video, the old and even now when he's interviewing people, I love that content, and it feels like it felt like he was talking to himself, like in a video format, like if as if he was writing in his diary, but obviously like on YouTube and as a video. And I thought that was super freaking dope because that's how I talk to myself, and that's the stuff that I love to do. I think that's what got me into making videos at first. Um, what else did I? What else was I about to say? I mean, even his new content, just people, him asking like these questions when he would interview people. I always thought his point of view or his angle at asking these certain questions was always, it was a different angle. It was outside the norm. When he would ask like questions or have these street interviews, these 1 minute talks about certain things, and his angle at going at it was super interesting. Um, One thing I was always curious, So as a kid, I would always ask a bunch of questions, and a bunch of interesting questions. I don't want to glaze myself or say that I'm some smart fucker for saying this, but my teacher used to say I always ask really good questions, and I think to an extent that kind of shows like I'm not stupid, right? I know I'm not stupid, but I definitely know I hold myself back a ton. And do I know that? Yes. But do I decide to do anything? No. But do I know that's my fault? Yes. You know what I mean? At the same time, I don't go around moping and bitching at everyone. Like maybe yesterday, I was telling a couple of my friends, like, I don't know what's going on with me, about how I haven't been going to training, and it's like, I even back then I was able to push myself, and I was talking to my friend, and he told me take like 3 days, even if you need 3 days off. I had a week off. It's horrible. Really 5 days off, but by that time it was like 8. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna keep posting more, and I hope this does good. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, because internally, what do I want? Obviously, not obviously, but I want to be rich. I want to be super fucking rich. One, because I want to know how it feels to have that much money. Two, I want to buy my mom a house. My mom, she's not from America, so I want to, obviously give her something. And she's been working towards a house, but we've had family issues, and it didn't work out, right? But I want to buy her a house. I want to know what it feels like to have multiple cars. Like, maybe that's what does that say about me? Maybe I'm materialistic, I guess, in a sense, but at the end of the day, who isn't? You know what I mean? And is it so wrong for me to want these things? Like, how, like, what's so bad about that? You see all these millionaires and billionaires that have it. Like, why is it bad that I want to that why is it bad that I see the finer things in life and I want to go ahead and have that? You know what I mean? Like, well, what's so wrong with realizing that there's finer things in life and that I want to have that? So many people say you have to be happy with yourself, you have to be happy with the position that you're in or whatnot, because there's people in worse predicaments. And of course, yes, am I blessed to have this pillow, this bed frame, this bed, this fucking essentials? This isn't mine, but clothes, you know what I mean? This phone that I'm recording on, these blankets, these walls, peace and quiet. Yes, of course. Now that kind of makes me feel a little bit like a dickhead, because I remember I go to Andrew Tate a lot, but um, it's because I honestly believe that he says a lot of things that are factual. When he was on the Nelk Boys podcast, and he was talking about the Ukraine-Russian war, and how he was talking about how people around the world always bitch and always complain about the things that they have, even when they live in a third world, in a first world country, and they still complain and bitch about their problems when there's Ukrainian men and Russian men getting pulled out of their houses to go fight for a war that they're going to end up dying in a trench, and no one's going to remember them, and no one's going to care about them, and they're just going to be a number, a statistic, and their parents are the only ones that are going to be there to care at the end of the day, and they might not even know when they die until months later or weeks later, whatever the case may be. And I'm sitting here in my comfy cozy bed complaining about my situation. It does make me feel like a prick, I'm not gonna lie. And thinking about it like that does make me want to get up and do more. But I'm gonna finish up this video really quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and sit up actually. Um, Saying that out loud really does put things into perspective. I, it's a difference thinking it and then actually doing it. And there's been times, obviously, where I'll think that and I'll be like, whatever, and I'll still be a prick. At the end of the day, humans are very selfish. You know what I mean? In every aspect, you can tell humans are very selfish. And if we weren't, um, we probably wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? If we weren't selfish, we weren't trying to conquer land and make sure we were the ones surviving, right? Our brain is programmed to survive. That's why when us humans are in dangerous situations, there's this fight or flight. It's your brain involuntarily making you make a decision to an extent, or even some people that freeze because your brain is just so flabbergasted and it just stops because it can't handle it. Like, your brain is meant to be selfish. So is it really that bad? No, I don't think so. It's how we are. Now, does it mean that every time that we should always feed into our natural human instincts? No, of course not, because then we'd be gluttonous and, how we are now, gluttonous, greedy, selfish people. Um, people goon all the time, and it's normalized. The sex industry is normalized. Being fucking a bum is damn near normalized now, you know? And I lost the plot, man. But one topic I did want to keep talking about is that why is it so wrong that if I see other people that have nice things, why is it wrong for me to say, hey, I want that too? And to an extent, is it because other people don't have it? Of course, you know, Andrew Tate said this again, but I feel like this obviously wouldn't just come from him. Anyone else could say this. And I'm 1,000% sure others have said this. You know, a six pack. If a six pack was easy, everyone would have one, right? But because it's not easy, everyone has one, but not everyone. But because it's not easy, everyone wants one, but doesn't have one. Um, really confused on what I want to do. Actually, no, I don't. I think I'm just using word blubber. But I procrastinate a lot, and that's my issue. I procrastinate a shit ton. And what does that say about me? I don't love myself if I can't even just take care of myself, com- uh, keep up with my commitments. You know that says I don't have any love for myself. And to an extent, how do I start loving myself? By slowly starting to actually change and fix those things. I'm trying to think now because if I was two different people, if I was to split myself into a different person, like another Danny was sitting right here next to me, right? I wonder how that would, as if like I had a girlfriend, right? Like what are the things you do that you would show to your girlfriend or to your mother, right? That you love them, you know what I mean? You would devote time to them. You would, you know, quality time, of course. You would. What would you do? Gifts. I guess giving yourself a gift sometimes is necessary. But I feel like even the same way as in like you would love anyone else. Are the harsh truths needed? Yes. Are punishments needed? Yes. The same way you would discipline your kid. You know, for example, you know if they misbehave and you need to discipline them, is it always the best thing for them? No. Or is it always is that bad for them? No, but it's what is in best interest. What's in the best interest for them? Uh, I'm just go ahead and stop it right here. I'm on 22 minutes. Doubt anyone's even gonna get a third of the way through, but if you do, I appreciate it. I really do. Um, who knows? If I can be like Sneeko one day or like make similar content to him, that'd be freaking dope. That's pretty cool. I like his style of making content because I feel like for me, I feel like that's really easy. Not easy, but it feels most natural. You know what I mean? Is that always the best thing? This is my issue. You know, not my. It's not an issue, but I do challenge my thoughts a lot. Not a lot. I don't want to come out like some fucking like some philosopher type of dude. Yeah, that's not who I am at all. But I do challenge myself, challenge my thoughts. I can like as I was about to say right there. Is that okay that you're only doing what's most natural for you? For example, like that. No, because to be fair, for me, that's the most type of um, content style that fascinates me. Really, not so much because it's easy, but it really fascinates me, and my brain like clicks on, if that makes sense. But thank you.